Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. We're going to do update 51 today, and I'll just show you a little bit of what I've been up to. We went to Bisbee for 3 days with the camper. Everything worked out fine except the water heater didn't work, but I figured out how to bypass the broken part, or the part that was defective from the factory, which was a little electronic component. And apparently everybody has trouble with them on the new Dometic water heaters. I have 2 parts coming, and I'm going to go down and complain to the RV dealer maybe tomorrow. Today it's too ugly outside. But anyways, show you what I've been up to, and I got back on the mine up here, and we're going to show you what I did. Okay, I've got my 2 notches cut back in here now for the little boiler house and the smokestack, and you can see that it rocks a little bit, so we'll put something under it to make it straight, or while the glue's drying or something. But it's sunken back into the side of the hill. We can touch up with bushes and stuff around it later, but right now I'm gonna get my vacuum that up, and then I'll be right back. Okay gang, now all we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little glue back here and glue that stuff down. And that will be ready to go. And I'm just gonna set it in the glue, and we can use the glue to squish the glue around to level up the building. And from my vantage point, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to do the same thing with the smokestack. I got to come down and look at it from you guys' angle. It looks like it's leaning back. We're going to tilt it forward a little bit. Oh. Well, and it just looks like it wants to fall back. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a little piece of paper under the back side of it. Just a little piece of newspaper folded up. Put it under the back side. And there you go. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to let her dry just like that. Now I'll take you over here on the other side to show you what we got going on there. Over here, you can see my little building here. It's just a little shed with a couple of doors on it. I don't know. It's an equipment room and possibly a combination bathroom. Who knows what it is? But it's going to be there. This, I sunk down into the foam. I cut the foam out and I sunk this down into it so it wasn't up so high. And it's going to live in there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just, well, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to see if I can scrape some of that foam out of there. So we're just going to shove the foam down. Now, I know this thing fits, and you saw that it fits because I had it cut and laying in the hole. So we're just going to glue this guy up, and we're just going to stick him down in this hole that he has, or was made for him. They, them, whatever you want to call it. And you can see that that fits in there pretty well. So that's where that's going to go. Now the only other issue we have, and this building is square and flat, but I have some ballast here. And we're going to scrape some of this ballast out of here. And we're going to put him with the 2 doors facing the track. And we're just going to move him back and forth to get him level. And we're going to straighten up the street light, which I just bent, by the way. And I'm just going to let that stuff dry for just a little bit here. And I think in a little while we're going to come back and we're going to try and put some gravel and some asphalt down over here and show you how that's done. Okay, I don't know how this is going to work out, me trying to videotape this, because I usually make a bunch of screw-ups. But anyway, I think you can see here, this is Arizona rock. It's Northern Pacific medium gray granite. It's their number 1301, but it has a pretty good gravel texture to it. And this is what I'm going to use. However, I'm going to stop the video because the bag leaks, for one thing. I'm going to put some of this in a little tiny container, and I'll be right back. Okay, I hang on to these little crazy containers. This is a Yoplait yogurt. But anyway, I've put some of that in there. You can kind of, I hope you can see the texture of it. But anyway, and we're just going to sprinkle. And you notice that I'm not too careful where it's going, because I'll show you why when I get that far. We're just spreading it out, trying to get kind of a even coat, as much even as we can get. I have to be a little, just a tiny bit careful along the edge of where the concrete is on the mine. And you can see that if I drop it from a distance up, it pretty much spreads itself pretty well. So initially that looks pretty good. Now we're going to move over here to the other side and at least get the gravel on, and then I'll show you how we're going to do the asphalt. I think one other thing I am going to show you while I'm over here is I have a selection of brushes here. A fairly stiff one, a fan brush, and a really soft brush. And what I'm going to do is just try and get it off of the things I don't want it on, okay? Like the roof of the building, the lumber pile, the cans, which I may need a little something rougher for, tires, all that stuff. Poke it. It's just kind of a game you play with this stuff, just pushing it where you want it to be. But you can see how that looks now. We're going to try the soft brush. I think I have it off at the top of everything here. And we're going to brush it off of the steps going into the mine. And aside from that, I don't know as we need to get it off of anything else, because it would be, well, we need to get it off the top of the mine eventually, so I might as well do that now. Anyway, you can see that it is all where I want it now. You know, it's not all over the place. That's how I do it, is by brushing. So now we're going to move to the other side, like I said, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the gravel over here and then possibly the asphalt. Okay, now we're going to start graveling over here. I'm just going to reach under there, do the best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just gravel. Gravel goes everywhere. Not rocket science, as I always say. I got to kind of throw some back in there because I got a bare spot over there. There we go. And it really doesn't matter how thick this gets, because no matter how hard you put it on there, you're only going to get so much of it down there, because it's pretty fine. And this is kind of the boring part, but you can see that I just do it with a pinch between my fingers and put it where I want it. And obviously, when I get over here where the plaster is very uneven. So it's going to take a lot of the gravel material to cover the edges and smooth out the bumps as much we can. You know, we may not be able to get them all out. If we can't get them all out, that's where a little weed will be, little bush, anything. Okay, so we're coming out this way. We're pretty much gonna stop with our gravel right in this area right here. But I have a pretty even coat. Not too bad. I got a dip right in here. If you were at my level, you'd be able to see it, but I'm sure you can't see it from up there. Okay, but to me that looks pretty good, with the exception of putting a little more right on the edge of where the trucks are coming off. we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to take our brushes and we're going to brush it off of everything that we don't want it on. Gently. Gently, gently. And right down in here, I have a kind of a big hump of it right in front of the smokestack. So I'm just going to try and level that out with the fan brush a little bit. And you just have to be really, really gentle with it, because it wants to be crazy. We're going to try and sweep some out of the concrete. And then we're just going to tap that down lightly. And sometimes you make a boo-boo and you got to fix it. Like this little boo-boo. There was a little boo-boo there where I touched it with the brush, and it looks very thin there in front of that stairway, so we're going to add a little there. So at this point, for the most part, you can kind of see that it looks pretty good. I have to brush some off the inside here over onto the other side, which I forgot to do. So that looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to recommend here, or what I'm going to do here, got some ballast stuck to the pavement. We don't want that. So we're going to unstick it. But what we are going to do is we are going to put, because this stuff is kind of expensive, well, and the Cato ballast is also kind of expensive, but I seem to have a lot of it. Because we have a great big cut right here, we're going to use the Cato ballast as filler in there, just to take up space. All I'm doing is I'm holding it way out at the end. I'm laying it on there, and I'm just, no pressure on it, I'm just dragging it out, okay? Just dragging it out. And now you can see, for the most part, we've created a transition from the pavement to the gravel. Now, you may ask yourself, well, that looks kind of dumb. Well, we're going to fix that right now. Hang on and I'll be back. Now, this bag is not marked, but I think this is asphalt powder. And if it's not, we're going to color all of this anyway. So what I'm going to do is take this so-called asphalt powder, and I'm going to spread it on top of our Cato ballast. And we're going to spread it down onto the actual foam road here. And what I like to do is just try and get this as even as I can get it before wetting this. Okay, what I have found with this, and we can certainly try it here, and if I screw it up, it's no big deal, but this stuff is so fine that trying to smooth it generally does not work. And I've already screwed it up a little bit. So what we're going to do here, what we're going to do now is we're going to wet all this down in preparation for glue. So I'll be back. And what we want to try to do is not get drops in it. But you can see how heavy I'm putting the water on where the asphalt is. That tends to smooth the asphalt. Now, we're getting a lot of droplets in there, and there's not much of an answer to that other than, and you have to be very gentle doing this part, but you're just going to go back and try and patch those spots. And honestly, this is about the best you can do. So we're just going to kind of go back, do the best we can, and I like to just kind of X pattern it over these holes because I think it kind of gives the best result. And now that we have it wet, we don't want to get it anywhere else we don't want it. But you can see that fixing the holes is not a terrible thing, and once you got the water down, the water will instantly soak into the new stuff you're putting on top of what you already have. This looks good to me right here. If we can get that to stay there, when we start putting the glue on it, I'm going to call it a win. Let me take the camera off of here and I'll hold it up and show you guys around it, around what we have. Okay, so you can pretty much see how the gravel looks. And it is wet. Wet, wet. Now, what I got to do is go get my scenic cement and start gluing. Okay, at this point, one tip I will give you: don't shake your bottle before you do this, because you've got solid glue down here on the bottom, and when you shake it, what you wind up with is a bunch of stringy stuff that comes out on your gravel. And what you want to do is you want to start on the edges and be real gentle about how you let it out of the dropper, because this also creates holes. So you just kind of have to be gentle, and you can already see some holes that have popped up over there, right there. But once you get going, it doesn't take a whole lot of it on here to get what you want, get it held down. Another thing, I'm going to show you another little tip that I do. And we're going to start on this. This asphalt stuff really wants to bubble. It's really, really bad about bubbling. So we're going to chase our glue across very, very gently. And you can see now that it's starting to want to run downhill, and I'm going to stop right there. If you're doing a parking lot or something, it's pretty tough to get that really, really flat. But we're gonna, here's one of the tricks I do. I go back just like we did before, and we're gonna patch up the holes. We don't go crazy, because then we'll have a big mound of gravel. We just go over the spots lightly in a direction that makes sense to you, and it'll make sense to you when you're doing it. But now you can see that we've glued all that, and we have a pretty good transition. And I was gonna spritz that again with some water. If I had a hairspray bottle or something that didn't drip like this bottle, I would do that. But I'm gonna glue this other side and do what I showed you right here, and I think we're gonna call that good. It just has to be saturated. And we've already got it saturated with water. And you can't see it from over there where you're at right now, but I have very little holes or pockmarking in it over here for some reason. I think the surface tension, I've got some alcohol in that water there, just about a cap full, a little small cap full in that bottle of water, and that just allows it to flow a little better. And I think for that reason I don't have so much trouble over here on this side right now. We're going to call that good, and we'll come back and take a look at it after it dries. How about that? I've got some black here, and I'm just weathering up the asphalt on the bridge. Just trying to weather up the center of the lanes a little bit. And we're going to come back here. Oops. Jump back up here. I got this guy, and it's pretty soft. So we're going to start doing a little bit of gray in there. It kind of sticks to that foam pretty quickly. Not really liking the way the foam takes the weathering, but it is what it is, and we're working with what we got. I am going to put a little bit heavy over the white lines, trying to make those things not stand out so badly. I mean, they're just super white. And then I think we'll do the same thing, kind of run a light strip along the outside edge. And you kind of see where I'm going with this, I think. So we've got an oil strip down the middle, and we've got light colored asphalt. And this is the first time I've actually worked with this foam. I kind of like that. We're going to extend this stuff up in here on the other asphalt. You know, we may lose this when when I recoat or re-glue this. We're going to put more glue down on this, and I think we're going to do that next and see if it holds our gravel down a little bit better. And I've got my camera quit on me, so I don't know where I kind of left off. I finished the bridge over here, and I decided I was going to re-glue all of the parking lot, the gravel. So I went in there and re-glued it all. Had to do a little bit of filling like I did last night, but I know for a fact I have enough glue on there now to hold that in place in case we have an earthquake. So we're gonna be gone the next few days, so it'll be a little while before I get back to this and finish this video up. Okay, gang, I re-glued all of the gravel, and we're gonna once again try to use a little bit of the pan pastel on it. And it looks like this time it's gonna take without coming up. Just kind of make what appears to be a route that the trucks take, and we need to kind of make it about the width of their wheelbase, just so that people know what's happening here. And it kind of goes into the gravel pretty quickly, so we're just gonna kind of lightly do the middle. We might even change colors up here a little bit. They're going to come out of the mine here with the slag. And they're going to be going this way. And some of them swing way out, because there may be one coming in. So we got kind of multiple paths here. If I was smart, I'd be wiping this off on a towel or something, but I'm not smart. So this is the way it's going to come out. I'm going to now I'm going to try a little bit of black, and I think I will wipe that on a towel first because it is really, really, really black. Kind of works better if I wipe most of it off before I get there. And all I'm doing is just, can't see it too good, I'm just wiping it into a paper towel and spreading it on the brush a little bit better. and it makes it go on a little bit finer. And we're going to have some black over here by the entrance to the doors. We're just going to kind of put this stuff where we want it to be. I don't know if this heavier brush or this stiffer brush would be better. Kind of works. Kind of looks like we have stuff that goes in and out of the doors there. We're not going to mess with it too much, and I may come back and lighten that up, like I said, a little bit. Now what I think I'm going to do, well, I need to put some black in along the road here. We're not going to go crazy with that, and you probably can't see that in the picture. But anyway, I think you're getting the hang of what's going on here. We have an empty going in. We have a full coming out, and he could be over here. And I think that looks pretty good, but I'm going to close this up, and I think I'm going to lighten it up just a little tiny bit. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the light on there. I think we're going to leave it alone for right now. What we're gonna do, what I need to do, what I haven't done, we need to do the same thing. We kind of need to do the same thing over here by the garage. Like stuff has been coming in and out of the garage. So we're gonna give that a little shot. And we're going to give a little shot over to the doorway. And we're just going to take that across over to the stairway. We're just going to say they have to check the boiler quite frequently. And we're going to put a little bit over here where they step off of the... I think we're going to put a little bit heavy right there. Right there where they're constantly going across the tracks. And we're gonna, you guys can't see it, but we're gonna put a little over here in front of the mine shaft itself, and we're just dabbing it on. I think we're gonna leave that alone. Dull down the roof here of this building. And we're even going to dull down what's in the back of this truck a little bit. And I think we're actually going to do a little on the roof of this building over here. Make it look a little bit softer. A little more aged, I guess you would say. I think that looks pretty darn good. And then I'll put some foliage around where the crack still shows there. Let me take a look at it from down here and close up my pan pastels and see if I like it. I think I do. I think we're going to call that good there. And I'm going to show you a couple more things, and we'll probably turn this into a video. I'm just going to throw this into the video because Robin and I went over to, you guys may know, I think I said we were going to go over to Bisbee, Arizona for a few days. And we had a real good time over there. We did find she found some antique stuff, glassware and things that she wants to use to do some projects that she's working on. And I didn't find anything that was within my price range. I found about a 20-gallon Texaco oil can, but I couldn't afford that can, but I would have used it for a trash can in the garage. And I didn't think it was worth the money to spend on it for a trash can. But anyway, what I did find is this. This is an Ideal. It's a wonderful toy by Ideal. Well, it's actually a model kit. 35 complete, easy to assemble parts. Ideal's authentic model cars of all nations. And you can see here on the back that there seems to be quite a few of them. I'm under the understanding that this was produced in the 50s. Here is the information on the end of the box. The box has this one little tear on it. But the car itself is in here, and there are some parts that are missing. I have one headlight missing there, and I'll figure out something. But I think my plan is to take this apart and just finish the thing. There's a radiator down in there, but there is an engine in it, and the hood lifts up. Anyway, it's kind of cool. When I paint it, I'll paint it probably silver and black. I'll have to make some windows for it. There's no windows in this thing. I'll figure out what to do with the headlights. There's a steering wheel and steering column that are in the box here. It's held together. It's just a screw together type of, like the kits were back then. Here's the very fragile instructions. Well, they're fragile, so why wouldn't I drop them? Here are the assembly instructions. Anyway, it's just a find that I came across, and I hardly paid anything for it. I just thought it was cool, and as you guys know, I like models, and I thought this is a pretty good example of a very early model. So anyways, it says this model car was made independently by Ideal Toy Corporation on a scale of 3/4 inch equals 1 foot. And I don't know if somebody hired them to do it, and I'm still not sure. I've looked at some things online that say these were given away as promos by Rolls-Royce. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, I like it. There it is. You've seen it, and I've seen it. So we're probably going to call it quits today. I'm kind of tired. Okay, everybody, that's about it. As you can see, I'm sitting here in my easy chair with my broken butt, and which is still hurting, by the way, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. And just got all my stuff here. Sitting out here relaxing right now that I've gotten some work done. I'm on my way to figuring some things out here. I think the next thing I'm going to do, and it will probably be in the next video, is start coloring the parts that I already have plaster on. Start putting some kind of color on them. That'll change the whole look, so in the next video you'll see a whole new look to the corner and to the incline over there. So, but we'll save that for the next one. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And don't forget to say, give a card to your sweetie tomorrow, and say I love you if you have a sweetie. And because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, it is also Robin and I's anniversary. So we probably won't be answering the phone tomorrow, but that's okay with me. Get to spend a day with my sweetie, another day with my sweetie, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and as usual, thanks for watching.